welcome everyone. It's lovely that you can make it today to know and listen more about Aspire and this amazing program. So if you don't mind, we can start talking about welcome everyone and the house rules. Jules, would you like to please share the screen with us? So with no more delay, we go into the house rules for this morning. So please mute your microphones. Feel free to type any questions in the chat box. There will be a question and answer at the end of the session. It will be an open discussion and you can open your microphones and your cameras as well. And this webinar is recorded from sharing purpose, so we can share this knowledge with people who couldn't come today. In today's agenda, we're going to learn from our founder and CEO, Kapna, why Be On Board is inspired Aspire. And we're going to hear from Sarah from the National Lottery, the founder point of view, why she joined forces with us to create this incredible project. We're going to talk about diversity. We're going to introduce the Aspire offer and the approach. And will be delighted to join Dominique Herwood, who recently been appointed UWI governor. And she's going to talk about barriers and opportunities of a trustee and what inspired her to apply for this role. And at the end, we were going to have question and answer session. So with no more waiting, Kapna, over to you. Tell us more about Be On Board, please.
Hello, everyone. Well, it's lovely to see so many aspiring trustees here and some organisations as well. So welcome. So I'll start by telling you a little bit about Be On Board. For those of you who don't know what we do, Be On Board, our mission is to dramatically increase diversity on boards. And we work with both business, commercial and VCSE boards. So boards, you may know, are where critical decisions are made, decisions which impact on all of us. So by increasing the diversity of thought on these boards through placing diverse candidates, we believe that we will provoke better and more shared decision making, which in turn will have a better and more sustained impact and deliver a wholly inclusive economy. That's our ambition. So how do we do this? We do this by building a talent pipeline of board-ready trustees and NEDs through a training and development program. And at the same time, we work with organizations to match our talent into key positions on boards. Now, we know that NEDs have a crucial role to play in commercial boards. You may all know that. But the role of trustees on VCSE boards is as vital. VCSE organisations are here to support the economic success of our communities. That is, they support the strength, wealth, health and resilience of our communities, and sometimes the very survival of our communities. These organisations play a huge part in how and whether our communities thrive or not. So becoming a trustee in a VCSE sector, you can be instrumental in the future prospects of our city and of the people of our city. And it isn't just about the organisation. The organisation's here to do so much, but it's also about you. What do you get from becoming a trustee? Becoming a trustee will expand your skills. It will provide opportunity to expand your strategic thinking. It will help you to increase your innovation and creativity. It will play a huge part in bringing richer and better solutions to organizations' challenges, because you'll be collaborating with other board members who have different skills to your own. You will make a real difference, and you'll develop yourself and your networks, and you will also be a much needed role model for future generations. So it really is a win-win for you and a win-win for our communities. So I'm really, really excited about this program to develop the next generation of trustees for the VCSE sector. This is what we want to do. However, You might be asking yourself, well, if it's so great, why hasn't it happened? The truth is that the VCSE sector sadly lacks diverse candidates. It hasn't managed to attract diverse trustees. You will see the statistics shortly, and I'm afraid they are alarming, they're shocking, and they're worrying, particularly given what these organisations are here to achieve. So we really, and be on board, we want to redress this. We want to dramatically change things. So last year we went to the National Lottery, whose mission is to drive change for communities. And so our values and our missions align so well together. And together we have come up with the Aspire programme, which I'm delighted to announce today, and which I know will go towards changing this. Aspire is a groundbreaking, unique and free programme. It is open to all candidates, all diverse candidates. We really want you to sign up to this. You've heard all the positives. You'll hear more detail about it and more about what you can get from it today. So please do listen, do enjoy today, and please sign up with us. And I'll speak to you a bit later about how you do that and what the specifications are and what the deadlines are. So I'll let you know about that a bit later on. Thank you for listening to me. And now I'm really excited to welcome Sarah, who is here from the National Lottery, who will talk about why we're working together on this and what the lottery also hopes to achieve. Welcome, Sarah.
Thanks so much, Kalpna. The words that you've used to describe the benefits and opportunities of becoming a trustee, I wholeheartedly support. And Kalpna's absolutely right that the National Lottery is just really pleased to be able to support this Be On Board initiative. I've worked for the Lottery Fund for the last 4 years, and before that I've was actually worked in the voluntary sector, mainly in leadership positions, where I was the key link between the board with their strategic overview of the charity and the day-to-day activity. But I have also had personal experience of being a trustee for several organisations. So I've been a trustee for a local community building. I was a founder and a trustee for a long time for a furniture recycling scheme, and also at the moment locally for my local community farm. But speaking as a funder, representing the lottery, it's really important to us that trustee boards are representative of the communities they're supporting. So we view really positively organisations that look at the makeup of their governance team and take active steps to ensure that they're representative of their beneficiaries, as well as having the skills that are needed to support that organisation. There's no doubt that becoming a charity trustee is a significant undertaking, but one that just brings great rewards. And we're just delighted that the Be On Board project is providing an opportunity for individuals like yourselves to consider becoming a charity trustee. And that there is also the other side of this project is that Be On Board is providing support for the charities themselves to review their current arrangements and ensure that everything is in place to support new board members. There are great opportunities that come from having new people as part of a team. Anybody joining an organisation is likely to ask a lot of why questions. Why is this done this way? How does this work? Why? And this can be quite challenging if you have a board that has done things the same way for a long time, but it should be exciting and energising and a great opportunity for boards to see things from a new perspective and to consider things differently. It's widely recognised that charity boardrooms are overrepresented by an older white privileged population, and I guess I'm testament to that. But a lot of organisations are keen to broaden their participation and ensure that their board members truly represent the communities they're trying to support across the whole demographic spectrum. And I'm delighted that you're all here today because you're clearly on that journey and wanting to be part of a movement that increases the diversity of charity trustees. Bristol has a population of 16% from ethnic minority groups, but as you'll see from the makeup of the boards that you'll look at later on, you'll see that this is not representative of our city demographics at all. So this pilot project is being funded by us to address this inequity so that our charity governance can become as diverse as the city. So on behalf of the fund, I'd like to thank you all for taking this step. I hope you find the information useful and the experience rewarding. The charity sector is extremely wide and diverse, from large-scale organisations that employ people and are household names to the very small and locally based community projects. Whatever your skills and interests are, you'll have a lot to offer a charity. You'll be able to make a real difference to local communities, and you have my very best wishes for the future. Thank you.
You know, like it has already been said, it's great to see so many wonderful faces all stepping up and putting their hands up to take on that challenge of diversifying our boardrooms. And that challenge, as Kalpna and Sarah both alluded to, is actually quite huge. I mean, as things stand at the moment, 92% of trustees in the UK are white, older and privileged, from privileged backgrounds, whether that's about their education or their social status. So the reality is 8% of trustees are people of colour. That's just terrible, as we all know, we can all recognise, and we need to see ourselves in that governance structure to help give more credibility and relevance to that decision-making process. So that's the challenge, that's the problem, that's where we're at right now. And that's why Aspire was born. It was actually launched on Martin Luther King's birthday. Of course, Martin Luther King had a dream, and we also have a dream, which is to challenge and change the face of VCSE boardrooms in Bristol and beyond for good, because it's good for business, it's good for society, it's good for us all. So our dream is really about starting from a co-creative process. You know, we want to collaborate with and nurture our emerging leaders of colour to become trustees and advance their boardroom careers. We know there are challenges to that beyond just feeling that they're a person of colour and hitting systematic barriers and breaking through them, as you've all heard that phrase, you know, breaking through the glass ceiling. It's important for us to highlight the governance, the role that it plays in achieving that ED&I in an organisation. So this is a pilot action research project. So we don't have all the answers. We don't claim to have all the answers, but what we want to do is to build a really compelling case by gathering that evidence so that we can scale up and make bigger impacts across much wider groups. Because when we talk about inclusion as well as diversity, we know that representation is for all of the protected characteristics, the 9 protected characteristics, if not more, recognizing actually everyone in this group is under that protected characteristic status. So how are we going to do this? Well, we are looking at collaborating with 8 trustees, aspiring trustees of colour. The programme itself is over 6 months. It runs from March to September. We're looking to incubate you onto one of 4 leading VCSE organisations in the city. And of course, those organisations themselves value and embrace diversity on their boards. And in terms of the way that you sit, it will be under the principles of a shadowing scheme. You'll sit as advisors, observers. Importantly, you are experts based on your skills, your experience, the diversity of thought and lived experience that you can bring to the table that will influence and make their decision-making processes more inclusive. So the actual offer to you as trustees is we will conduct a skills audit. We need to evaluate where you are at right now, your hard and soft skills. We'll look to match you with an organisation based on your interests, and that's our intention, of course. You will attend a minimum of 2 board meetings. That really depends on the boardroom cycle of each organisation, but you can expect to attend at least 2 board meetings across the 6 months. You'll have workshops. We will look at your building your understanding of governance, building those leadership capacities, boosting your confidence, You'll have hand-to-hand, hands-on coaching sessions, fireside chats with inspirational speakers. And of course, we'll be supporting you, Be On Board, every step of the way. And at the end of the project, we will look to support you into actual trustee positions on boards across the city. That may be the board that you've sat on. It may be a different board, of course, different outcomes for different people. But it's worth highlighting that this package of support over that 6 months is actually valued at £10,000 per candidate, and it's absolutely free because of the investment and support of the National Lottery. So with that in mind, I'm going to stop there and hand over to someone who I find incredibly inspiring, having spoken with her. And I hope you get that same sense in the conversation and the inspirational stuff that Dominique is about to share with us. Dominique, over to you.
Hi, thank you so much, Jules. Thank you, Kalpna, Laura, and Jules for having me today. So I guess I wanted to start by talking about what the word aspire, kind of how it resonates with me. So for me, it's inspirational just in terms of what the word means. So I had to look it up. And so according to the English dictionary, aspires to direct one's hopes or ambitions towards achieving something of high importance. And to have such an aspirational name and goal, the way that Kalpna described the program, is something that I feel very aligned to. But today I wanted to just share my, I guess, background and how I got to the point that I'm at now. So I would say I wish that there were programs like this earlier in my career. I've been an HR practitioner, executive for over 24 years. And I'm while it's not the usual thing to talk about, which is your age, I've done that even though I'm only 45. So I started my career at the age of 21, having left my island home. So I was born and grew up in Trinidad and Tobago. And I left there at 21 because I wanted more for myself. And so I came to do my master's because at the time in the Caribbean, there weren't very many master's programs. And I was fortunate that I joined the NHS when I arrived in the UK. And within a year of being here and saying that, you know, I'm about to do my master's and it would be great if I could have time off to do that, they turned around and said to me, you know, we see a lot of potential in you. If you would focus your energy on HR, which was the department that I worked in, we'll fund your master's program. So from looking back in hindsight, I realized that there were people in my life who saw the potential in me that I didn't necessarily appreciate myself. So one of the great things about this experience, becoming a UE board governor, can I ask you about a time when you know, before COVID, way before COVID, when you might have attended, I don't know, a family reunion or a Christmas get together? Do you know that point when you are introduced to someone and you're told, I've known you since you were knee-high to a grasshopper. I've known you since you were a child, and you're racking your brain trying to think of, where do I know this person? Have we met before? But we all have had that experience where you meet family members or you're told this person is a long lost cousin that you have no recollection of meeting. That's what it was like for me meeting the Be On Board team. I genuinely felt like it was long lost family that I hadn't met until a couple of months ago. And since then, the support and I guess the encouragement that I've had on this journey has been tremendous. So because of my career, because of the fact that I've worked on management boards previously, I guess the board experience should be something that was that I felt comfortable with. But I still wondered when a colleague sent me the advert for this role, I still wondered whether UWI as an institution was ready for a woman, a mother, someone originally from the Caribbean. I still questioned. And I remember looking up on their website, and one of the things that I noted in one of their values is that, so they have 5 values, and one of them is inclusive, and it says, we make UWI Bristol a supportive and inspiring place to learn and work, somewhere where diversity of experience and perspective is encouraged, and learning and research is shared and accessible. And I think in that moment, I recognize how much what they espouse aligned with my own personal values, my own desire. I'm as passionate as I am about HR, I'm as passionate about education. And, as I said, as a mother of 3 boys, one is in university currently, one is doing A-levels, and one is in year 5. And they all know that education is one of the things that I hold dear. So to have an opportunity to be part of an institution where I get to marry my HR expertise with my passion for education seemed like, a match made in heaven. But I will tell you, even with that knowledge, I still went into this process with some level of trepidation. So the colleague who sent me the Be On Board ad, let's say she sent it 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks after, she probably realized I hadn't responded to the email. So she sent it to me again. And I responded and I said, thank you for the encouragement. I will definitely consider this. And one of the things about the Be On Board ad that stood out for me was that it said, it asked the question, want to shape the outcomes of future generations and build a better future. And that is what propelled me to apply for this role. It was a rigorous process in that I had 2 panel interviews within the space of they were both an hour long, but within the space of an hour, both panel interviews happened. And this was just before Christmas. And I got an email telling me that the board wanted to sleep on, the decision-making process over Christmas, and they would come back to me in the new year. And in the new year, Jules reached out to me and he talked through, the institution's visions and goals. And we talked about how I could add value to that strategic agenda. And I was invited to a 3rd interview, and I went into that interview really pumped, really encouraged. And so I know that this Aspire program is only going to be beneficial, because the Be On Board family, because I genuinely feel that that's what it feels like to me, is one that they have your interests, your best interests at heart. So I went into that 3rd interview quite confident that I knew where my place was in that organization. And so it wasn't that I had to feel odd or out of place. I respected that the organization felt that diversity on the board was important. I was sure about my experience as an international student years ago, as a mother of students, as an HR expert. I was confident that I could genuinely add value in that sphere. And so I I have been, this journey for me has been a really uplifting one. You know, it's been reaffirming, it's been reassuring to me as an individual, as a practitioner, and as someone who can genuinely make a difference. You know, I feel that as individuals, we've all at some point in our life felt like the odd one out, whether it's about your height, your weight, your whatever it is, we've all felt odd, but it's that uniqueness, it's that difference that brings fresh and valuable perspective to the board environment, to the discussions around decisions and governance. And so I really want to encourage you to sign up to this program because, as I said, for me, not being part of the program, but having been introduced to this team, I can see the tremendous wealth of knowledge and expertise that they are bringing. You know, I will share with you one of the things after the UE board came back to me and said that I'd been appointed. I got a call from Kalpna, and she started her conversation by saying, I want to congratulate. And before she could finish, I said, thank you. And she said, wait, you didn't let me finish. I want to congratulate UE for recognizing what a wealth of experience you bring to this table. And that level of belief and encouragement has been phenomenal. And so I just wanted to share that bit of my own experience and what I think that this journey will be like for you.
Thank you, Dominique. Thank you for such an inspirational speech. And it sounds really familiar. It resonates with my story as well. But let's back to the program and let's talk about now what we are actually offering. So Jules mentioned at glance, this is a bit of detail of what you will receive if you sign for the program. As he mentioned, it's going to be a skill audit because although everybody has a great set of skills, some of them are they need to be enhanced. So it's to see where are you, but I think the most important here will be your soft skills, which is incredibly important on a leadership. On a leader person, and because you're going to become a leader and you're going to become the future and reshape the future of boards, this is the key. You will receive 3 workshops, which will be inspiring your CV, changing your leadership mindset, which means overcome that imposter syndrome that everybody has at some point, and learning how to lead with diversity and inclusion, and that will be your input to the organization and to society in general. And at the end, you will have a leadership development coach session, and you will have the opportunity to sit in 2 board meetings at least. And this is important because you will receive a 360 degree training, which means you will have the practical experience together with all the knowledge that mentors will offer to you and from the workshops. All sessions going to be online. They're going to be from March to September in between 6 weeks each. And by the end of the program, you will have an evaluation. And this is key for you and for us because we're going to evaluate the impact of the program in Bristol now, but hopefully expand it to other regions. And we want to make this program, because now it's a pilot, we want to make it permanently, and we want to create or co-create a new I don't want to say system, but I said a way to work together with organization, with aspiring people who wants to be leader, and create new role models for generations that come behind of us. So hope this is encourage you to, you know, sign for this program, make a great impact for the city. I will pass it to Kavna. Kavna, please tell us more about how they can apply.
Thank you very much, Laura. Yes, so some of the detail you might be thinking about asking about. So why apply? We've talked about why it's fantastic to be a trustee, what you get out of it. But the program, what does it actually do for you? So this leadership development opportunity is valued at £10,000 per applicant. Many organisations charge for this. If you had to go and get some of those skills, those coaching sessions, is how to build your CV and so on, they do cost money. And this program is unique because together with the lottery, we've been able to provide this for you for free. But that great value that you get from it, it will strengthen your leadership skills. We've talked about this. Many organizations ask their internal employees to think about getting external experience. So being able to demonstrate that you've been on a board, that you've sat in an external environment, particularly at the level of a board where you're sitting with other leaders, that's a really great way, firstly, of enhancing your skills, but also demonstrating to your internal organization that you want to be a leader of the future. So I think that, you know, that's a really positive thing that you will get from this. You will get the in-depth and intimate insights on how boards work, because you'll be able to sit in as an observer. You'll be able to see how the machinations of boards, you know, all of the sort of paperwork that goes with it, but also the strategic thinking and you'll be able to see some of the impact of your decisions. It will definitely expand your network. You'll meet, you know, more people, different people in your board, and they have networks. So you'll immediately get connected to those. And as you meet people from different backgrounds and with different skills, you'll enhance yourself and gain new perspectives as well. And of course, you know, for us as well, we want to develop you. We want to make you a leader. We want to give you prospects for the future. We also want to create real change in VCSE sector. And what you will be able to do, you'll be able to be instrumental in influencing the direction of our VCSE sector and the decision making. And I've talked about you adding this to your experience in your CV. And, you know, I keep talking about being a role model for future generations. We need these role models. You know, we go to schools, we talk to young people, and they are looking up to say, well, who looks like us in these positions? Because if they can see people who look like them, then they know that they can aspire to being like that too. So those are the ambitions and the things that you will gain from us. So what's the criteria? What do you have to do? What do you have to be? What do you have to meet to be able to get on the programme? So you must be a Be On Board candidate. That's really easy. Bill will put up a link now. All you have to do is sign up with us. And you get from that, not just becoming a candidate, you'll get our regular newsletters, you'll get our regular jobs bulletin and so on. So you become part of the Be On Board family, as Dominic was saying. So we will really look after you. You must work or live in Bristol because this is a Bristol-based project. You must self-identify as a person of colour or Black, Asian, minority ethnic. You aspire to join a board. I'm not sure why there's all these question marks on the end of this. I feel like I should ask them a question. Do you aspire to join a board? I'll start with the question. Do you want to be a trustee? You know, do you want those skills? Do you want to learn what it means? Are you committed to inclusive governance? That's very important because we are talking about, you know, inclusion here. Do you have professional and/or community experience? Can you commit time from March to September? We can give you details on that. as well, but so you can talk to that. You will need to commit some time to come to the courses. We're making them short, sharp, but very we'll land all the skills in that time, but you need to be saying, well, actually I need to have this time. And do you want to increase your strategic skill sets? Do you want to strengthen your networks of influence, so grow your networks? And are you over 21? So that's the criteria, that's all the criteria. And if you tick yes to all of those, then that's great. You just have to register with us. And there's a deadline to apply. You have time to think about it, time to talk to us, drop us questions. We've got a deadline for the midnight of the 6th of March. And that's we want to get on with the program. So we want to, we are asking you to think about it fairly quickly, but I'm sure you're also inspired and excited that you'll be signing up immediately. How to apply, you go on to this www.beyondboard.co.uk/aspire. Contact Laura if you've got any questions, and aspire@beyondboard.co.uk. And you can hashtag us to your any socials by using #AspireBeyondBoard. So we hope we've answered quite a lot of your questions, but I'm sure there's more. So now we're moving into the Q&A session. So please just put your hand up and unmute yourself in turn and ask questions or pop them in the chat. We will try our very best to answer all of your questions now. So I think we've already got a question. Is that right, Jules? I'm just going into my chat.
Sure, I'm just going to go into the chat now. All right, do we need to be based in Bristol to take part? Yes, Esther. Sorry, you need to live or work in Bristol. You need to have a connection to the city. The reason why we're focusing on Bristol is because we know that the 16% are people or BAME communities, but we probably know actually reality when we get the next census that it's probably going to increase. So it's going to be quite high. So yes, live or work in Bristol.
Latoya has a question, so please, Latoya.
Hello, Latoya.
Hi everyone, thank you for that presentation. I think it's great. I love what you do at Beyond Board, and St Paul's Carnival wants to fully support that. My question is, I came here today as an organisation that wants to support that diversity onto our board. And as with St Paul's Carnival, we have, we are a Black-led organisation, but we don't have enough youth representation and also community representation. So I'm here, I guess, as a business that would like to offer itself as a space to take on candidates. And also, I have a team member who I think would be great for Aspire, so I'll be sending him that. And I'd be really interested in how this program might help us establish an associate board model that could kind of be a training ground and help do some of this work. There's a question and a statement.
Thank you.
Kalpna or Laura, which one of you would like to take?
If you want both, but Kalpna, you want to go first?
Thank you. I was just going to say thank you, Latoya. Thank you so much for your support, firstly from St Paul's Carnival. What a great organisation that is. Secondly, you may not have come to the Tuesday webinar, but we are asking VCSE organisations if they want to be part of this pilot, because the pilot is in two parts. The pilot is the trustees, 8 trustees that we will match with 4 VCSE organisations. The VCSE organisations will get an opportunity to review their equality and diversity and inclusion journey, where they are, and also look at what gaps they need. So it'll give them a chance to get to the point where they can actually also recruit diverse candidates. So there's that. You know, as your organisation, if it's a CIC or a VCSE, can definitely apply for that. As on that basis, if you have got all people in your organisation who think you'll be potential trustees, please send them to us. Laura will be able to give them more details. You know, you talked about youth and diversity. So we are looking for people of colour for this. Of course, we talk about intersectionality. So we're not talking about a certain age. So we're looking for, you know, people of colour who are, you know, all ages and so on. So, and that's what we would really love, you know, to attract in terms of our trustees.
Can I just add on to the question about age, because it is quite an important one, and obviously with sort of you know, the way the rules are. So for this phase, we're looking at over 21, which may fall into your youth sort of camp, under 25 or under 30. And it's just because of, you know, we all know sort of, you know, the guidance around young people, looked after people under 18. So we want to kind of, we won't be in a position to deal with all of that. That might be in a phase 2 or phase.
No, Jules, that's fine. You know what it's like. I love my board, but we're all over 40. So 21 is you.
Oh, gosh. I just want to contribute to the answer. I think one of the main problems, a part of diversity in the sector, is the age, and these really low statistics. From all the diversity, I think is the lowest, 0.5. I think one of the issues in here is this negative circle, I will say, of you don't have enough experience to apply, therefore you need to wait ages. And I think the program like Aspire and perhaps another ones want to break down those barriers, encourage young people to apply and give them the experience. And this is why Aspire is unique, because they are offered all that. They offer you the knowledge, but also they're giving you the option to join into the board as an observer and bring your skills in there and take the barrier of I'm feeling scared. What is being a trustee is imposing to sit down suddenly with all these people and you feel you don't have the knowledge. So we want to empower them. We want to tell them, you know, all these people are at the same level of you, and it's only through experience that you will achieve that. And perhaps they start, you know, generations were different, and now this is what we need to do in order to close the gap, to encourage new people and to inspire them. So yeah, I think we don't know who is going to be in the cohort, but we inspire new generations to be part of as an additional to the diversity. So I hope that answers your question, Latoya. Oh, you have another one. Do you have another one?
Just really whether you can quickly just tell us a little bit about the support package, because I think you're absolutely right. I talk about this a lot. It's all because St Paul's Carnival is often in this situation where you're invited around a table, but you don't have the capacity to take up the opportunity. So I think there's something similar around, you know, it's important to not just get those young, diverse people to the table, but also to provide the right support so that they can take up the opportunity. So I just wonder if you can talk a little bit about that package.
Do you mean the package that we offer to Aspire? So
yeah.
What we want to do is the cohort that's coming, we're going to introduce them to what governance is, to tell about what our trustee, the importance to be a trustee and the responsibility as well. We're going to assess their skills, because obviously we want a certain level of skills. And then we're going to match with the organization that we'll need, because from the organization's point of view, we're going also to review the gap that they need to fill in, and then we're going to match. There's going to be a thorough process. And the less that we want to do is to put in risk trustees and aspiring trustees and organizations. So we want to match them as close as possible. And then we're going to carry on nurture those aspiring trustees with leadership, with how to approach people, how to network, etc., etc. And working together in parallel with you and the trustees. So for the organization point of view, we're going to assess if you're ready for diversity, what you need to put in place to, welcome all this. And then everything is going to be growing, hopefully, into establish a more robust program. But this is a pilot one, and we're testing, and this is part of the research. So I hope that answered your question, Latoya.
Can I just, because that was really, really thorough and insightful, can I just also add that in terms of the individuals, the trustees, aspiring trustees that sit on your board, we're going to put them in pairs, so they won't be on their own. That's important. There will also be peer-to-peer mentoring throughout. So, someone like Dominique will come and sit with them and kind of just share, or even someone like yourself, Latoya, has gone through the whole process and we can pull you in that way, but basically you'll share your unique and intimate experiences that would just guide them through some, they got questions, they don't know how to voice them. Sometimes they don't know how to articulate them. They don't even know what the questions are yet, but they know it's bothering them. So, we will support them in that way throughout. So hand holding, go back to that family piece that Dominique pointed to. And then, of course, at the end of it, there has to be an outcome. And that outcome really, ideally, is that they then go on to sit on another board, that they've got the strength, that they're board ready, that they've got the confidence, that they understand the language, and they sit on either the board that they have supported throughout, or move on to another board. That would be their option. So there's lots of ways that we'll be supporting throughout. But Laura's absolutely right, because it's a pilot, and as we said, we're co-creating as we go along, we're co-delivering, where we may hit one or two speed bumps because we didn't quite anticipate or understand those obstacles, because we don't know all the obstacles for why the barriers are there. Some of those are organizational, structural, that we just haven't hit yet because the program hasn't started yet. So so us as an organization, Be On Board, will also be very flexible and alive to this as well. And I think it's also important to point out Laura and her experience having come through Be On Board, having, sat on, if you don't mind me saying, sitting on the St. Paul's Carnival, who we've worked with as well. So there's some really, again, there's some really important lived experience that Laura can be live to in terms of when it comes to, looking after the needs of the individuals. The organizations is a slightly different equation, and we will send you the information pack for that and film, because you missed it yesterday, Tuesday.
If are there any questions about timing, or is there any question about dates? We can put up, any more information for you as well. There's quite a lot to take. We've done quite a lot today. I think we've gone through quite a lot. So is everybody happy so far?
Fantastic. Has everybody, brilliant. Has everybody seen the film? The short film, because that will also give you just a little bit more insight. So Bill, I wondered if you could drop that into the chat group. I don't want to assume everybody has seen it, but just in case. Right, around what time is the training? Mornings, afternoons, or evenings? Brilliant question. Laura?
Yeah, because of everybody has a busy schedule, we think is going to be better around lunchtime. And it's going to be between 1.5 hours to 2 hours. So you do not need to commit a long time of your time to be on those workshops. I expect it's going to be a lot of homework from your side to do and to input that. So it's around. It's going to be around midday. But
yeah, and it might also be, and I think it's a really good question. Yeah, we thought that the lunch hour is when people have sort of a bit more time, but obviously we know it's also a working day. And so we might kind of, do an A/B bit of testing. It's a pilot project. So, we may try something later in the day, unlikely to be mornings because of the school runs, for example. So it won't be early breakfast type stuff, before the working day starts. But it might be we trial something in the evenings, because that may get a different response rate. So we will play with it, but where we've leaned to at the moment is the lunch hour, because assuming everyone is working, who's participating, they will have that time in the lunch hour. But of course, her lunch hour is exactly that 1 hour.
Yeah, and we plan it to do it like, if it's going to be every 6 weeks, going to be like every Thursday, so you can have enough time to plan in advance. So we are working up to develop this the plan of how we're going to allocate the days. So we're thinking VCSE will have one day, maybe Tuesdays, and the Aspire trustees will have it on the Thursday. They don't need to be on the same week, they can be week difference, but the main thing is to introduce the organization with the trustees, and then they kind of start working together with their schedule. So it's going to be like a partnership thing to set up their, depending on the dynamic of the board, how they can schedule the board meetings that they need to attend. Can also be committee meetings, because the board is kind of complex. They're going to learn all that once they into the program.
Thank you. It's almost 1 o'clock, so if there are any more questions, we can take those before we close off. Just unmute and just jump in the middle and skank, as one of my favorite poets might say. Yeah, please, Matt.
Hello, hi. I just wanted to congratulate you for this initiative. I find it extremely relevant and true to the value of Bristol. And I wish to encourage every participant in this room to step forward. Bristol needs you. It's a great opportunity, and I'm sure this training will help develop your career, but also change the landscape in the city. So don't be shy, be brave, and take this opportunity. It's your time learning. Thank you.
You took the words right out of my mouth, and that's a beautiful segue into the registration process. It has been dropped into the group. I can see that people are starting to disappear now. So the next step is go to orderws.beonboard.co.uk/aspire. You'll be able to find more information around the registration form. And the registration form, we are asking a number of specific questions. One of the keys is about us building the case for further investment. All of us here recognize that this is just a starting point. We need to have this as a sustainable, not a 6-month pilot project that is parachutes in and disappears in a couple of months' time. So the more people that applies, the more evidence that we can gather and that we can build. We appreciate, and we have to speak honestly, that we can only take 8 people in the initial phase. Not everybody will be successful, but that's the same with any job that you apply for. Only one person will get the job. In this case, we have 8 roles valued at £10,000 going over 6 months. So there's a lot of opportunity. It will be a competitive process. Don't delay your application. We encourage you to apply, whatever your starting point, whether you're new, whether you're returning, or whether you're looking in some way just to build more skills. Whatever stage of your leadership journey, we very much encourage you to apply. Countner, did you have any sort of last words?
No, I just want to say thank you to everybody for coming. I think it's been really energizing, even for me to hear about it again, but also to have you all here. So it's a really, really positive first step. So I'm really looking forward to, progressing this. If you are here today and you know of others who might be interested in this, please tell them, because it's a great opportunity. As Jules says, that we may only have 8 now, but we hope that the pilot program will turn into a program and we can support others. Obviously, be on board anyway, generally. If you have people who are looking to be trustees, get them to sign up with us, because they'll see all the jobs that are coming up, and we will still help people anyway, just like Dominique talked about. So there's the Aspire program, and there's our normal everyday today work too. So tell lots of people about us. What do we want to do? We just want to change things for everybody for the better. And you're all part of that. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming, and look forward to seeing you as part of the program. Have a great day. It stopped raining, so enjoy some of the sunshine. And very best wishes to you all. Goodbye. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
It's done.